Kia ora, welcome to Central News for Thursday, the 7th of August. I'm Hilary Entwistle. Hamilton City Council is inviting expressions of interest from professionals with a passion for public art to join the public art panel. The role of the panel is to provide expert advice to council on public art projects and to ensure Hamilton achieves high quality outcomes that align with the public art plan. Professionals with appropriate expertise are sought, with nominees needing to demonstrate the following qualities: passion and commitment to the development of Hamilton's public art, proven relevant experience in public art activity, an up-to-date and broad understanding of public art, and knowledge of Māori art and culture. The New Zealand Transport Agency is welcoming confirmation of changes to New Zealand's graduated driver licensing system, aimed at improving the safety of novice drivers and motorcyclists. From the 1st of December, there will be a set time limit on new learner and restricted car and motorcycling licences to encourage drivers and riders to progress to the next licence stage within 5 years. Transport Agency Road Safety Director Ernst Zollner says the changes will work together with other measures introduced over recent years to improve the safety of novice drivers, including raising the minimum licensing age from 15 to 16, the introduction of a zero alcohol limit for teen drivers, and the rollout of more challenging practical driver tests to gain restricted and full licences. Waikato Regional Council has joined forces with the Bay of Plenty Regional Council to make bar crossing safer for boaties. Crossing a bar is one of the highest risk activities, even for the most experienced boatie. And the two regional councils have produced 5 films showcasing local bars and how to cross them safely. Waikato Regional Council project managed the development of the films in conjunction with the Bay of Plenty Regional Council, with funding and support from ACC, Maritime New Zealand, Water Safety New Zealand and Coast Guard. The films include the notoriously dangerous Raglan, Tairua, Bowen Town and Kaituna bars, as well as a general how-to film. Tauranga youngster Chaz Stesnes will get a chance to do what every 6-year-old dreams of when he becomes an official toy tester for the warehouse. The 6-year-old is one of 4 children nationwide to be chosen for the 12-month job as part of the warehouse's annual July toy sale. Each month, the toy testers will receive up to $200 of brand new toys, as well as $8,000 cash for their family. The children will play, assess and rate the toys they receive, and feedback will be passed on to the warehouse's toy buying team. Now for our marine forecast: West Coast Raglan, southwest rising on Friday morning to 35 knots, with very rough seas and easing in the evening to 25 knots. Your high tide in Raglan is at 7:29 a.m. East Coast Bay of Plenty, northwest 25 knots, gusting to 35 knots but easing to a westerly of 15 knots. But 20 knots in the west in the morning, rising to a southwest of 20 knots, but 25 knots gusting to 35 knots in the west in the afternoon. The sea is rough at times in the west, but it is easing elsewhere. Your high tide in Tauranga is 4 in the afternoon. Just ahead, the YAA Awards. Welcome back to Central News on TV Central. The Young Innovators Awards were established in 2010 by Economic Development Agency, Priority One's InStep program, aiming to encourage the development of a culture of innovation in the Western Bay. I went along to Bay Fair to have a look at some of the truly genius entries.
Well, we did get it narrowed down to 33 total, but there's really still a huge variety of different things that they talk about. We have here a clothesline that can be accessed from a wheelchair, so it spins around. There's a taco shell wrapper that doesn't lose all your food and juice and things like that. This one's about a bus system, We've got a speaker that fits in your ears so that you can still hear traffic and things around you. Over on this side, we've got this one. Is a automatic hair tying device, probably for fathers. Really cute idea. We've got a chair system so that the jig for the chairs can be lent out to different schools and they can make their own chairs more cheaply. And a dog walking system, which is a belt so that you can go hands-free dog walking and, get your selfies while your dog runs around and doesn't run away.
I'm constantly having that problem, needing to take selfies while walking my dog.
Yeah.
Now, you are going to have a bit of a shindig for the awards night, aren't you?
Yeah. We have a big awards ceremony, which is part of the Western Bay at Work launch, which is a big careers fair that'll run over the next 2 weeks. And at that, we have John Gritsakis, who's one of the judges. He'll get up and be our keynote speaker and just talk about sustainability and innovation and sort of how it's worked for him. And then the next day, we actually bring all the judges together for the Innovation Forum the next morning. And the judges are all experts in their fields, so they'll get up and talk about how they've used innovation, how their business has grown, sort of what their backstory is. Really interesting and inspiring morning.
And this is actually the display at Bay Fair.
Yes.
Now, why have you put this at Bay Fair?
So we bring this in so that people from the community, not just outside of the schools that have entered, can come and everybody can vote on their favorites. You pick your people's choice and vote on a little pad and drop in your entry, and then we'll give that award out with the rest of the awards on the night.
So make sure you get down here and vote.
Yes.
The winner will be announced at tomorrow night's function, and we will interview them next week. Marine Reach is a Christian and humanitarian organisation composed of volunteer professionals and ordinary men and women, providing healthcare to the most isolated and needy people worldwide. I caught up with Captain Jesse to find out about their outreach program.
Well, the outreach program would compose of short 2-week programs for 5 to 6 months. So what it means is a volunteer can come in to help us for 14 days, which means they will fly to the location we're in. For example, if the outreach in Samoa, they will fly into Apia, and then the ship will be there to pick them up and bring them to a location wherein the help is needed, and that will be for 2 weeks. So in that 2 weeks, there will be no internet, no telephone, because we're going to the most isolated areas in those islands, and then after that, we come back and bring them back after that medical program and the outreach program is completed, and then they come back to New Zealand after that, or they can stay longer.
Is it just medical people that can join the outreach program?
No, not necessarily. We have ordinary, as I said before, ordinary men and women who come in and join us and just help. You will be surprised how much people just need somebody to talk to hear them out, and then tell their stories. And this is not just about putting a Band-Aid on somebody else's body. It's about reaching out to their heart and then talking to them about their issues and their problems. And then with that, we hear more information what their needs are, and then we can be effective next time in bringing those services to them.
And when you are travelling around these islands, are you noticing that there's certain diseases that are more prevalent in certain islands, like PNG with malaria?
That's true, yeah. Like for example, we have, of course, the dream of having a laboratory on board the ship. And so in that laboratory, we hope to be part of a program in cataloging how many issues of malaria, and also, which is prevalent right now in Papua New Guinea and several Melanesian islands, is tuberculosis. There is a form of tuberculosis right now that is incurable, which is part of our screening process here in New Zealand. So people, before they come here, they get screened. So the thing about it is we want to do that in islands and identify that, and then perhaps find some help for them to find a cure for that particular tuberculosis that they're going through.
How can the general public help you out on your next voyage?
Oh, good question, Hillary. Our desire is to see people get involved, whether you're 12 to 101. If you're able, we'd like you to come and join us on the ship and even visit us here to see what we're about. But also we're calling out to corporations and corporate sponsors to help us, like with paint, with steel products and all those things that we need to reconstruct the vessel. And there are many already organizations helping us here, but our hope is this Pacific Hope will be a humanitarian expression of the city of Tauranga to the nation. So that's our desire to be that. And we're hoping to see people from all walks of life to come here and join us and help us on board the ship.
If you'd like to help out with Marine Reach in any way, you can email volunteers@marinereach.com or visit their website, marinereach.com. Still to come, your weather for Friday and the staffing restructure of Tauranga City Council. Welcome back to Central News. Tauranga City Council employees are facing a staffing restructure where 52 jobs will be disestablished and 54 new positions created. CEO Gary Poole says new principles are driving the change, one of which is being demanding of themselves and others. I found out how this will work in practice.
How it works in practice, probably the simplest example is to, as council officers, to think that everything we do, the customer has choice. And so, we've got to get ourselves into a mindset that if we're not performing to our expectations of, people we go and buy food from or clothes from, if we're not performing, we choose with our feet and go and buy our stuff somewhere else. What we've got to do is get our people to think like that, even though in some cases our customers don't have choice. And what we've got to do is get our people thinking that our customers do, and that therefore, our customers are people we go the extra mile for, and we respond to them immediately. We take responsibility for resolving their issues, and we, want everyone leaving here and experiencing in whatever way they interact with us, outstanding service, so they leave thinking that if I had the choice, I'd be back to this place because I've been treated well and I've got what I was after. That's what being demanding is about.
Was that not happening in the past?
In the past, people were coming to work to do a really good job, but what we're introducing is the kind of, if you like, fresh thinking. And we are making people really aware that they have to bring a mindset here that our customers have choice even if they don't. And you've got to be thinking the whole time about how do I keep this customer, and that is by having outstanding service and outstanding responsiveness to the needs of our customers.
Are you effectively performance reviewing the council?
I suppose you could say that we have, if you like, done the performance review without going into what kind of grade we gave ourselves. What we're saying is we've identified some areas where we can do better, and this repositioning is about making sure we put those measures into place and we provide better service for our community and our customers. And we're being really clear that that better service is not good, it is excellent service.
How much is the restructure going to cost the ratepayer?
Well, that depends on how much change we have in terms of how many people either can't step up or choose not to step up to the new mark. And there are varying measures in terms of like if everyone chose not to take up new roles, we've got a top end number, and that's north of $1 million. That's, in my view, very unrealistic, because I think a lot of people will want to be part of what is going to be an exciting future. But I would think, being realistic, we're talking about $250,000 to $300,000 in change costs as part of this process. And we're absolutely confident that the organisation and the community will recoup that money within 1 year.
Some say there are already too many staff on the Tauranga City Council. Do you think that the council is run the most efficient way when it comes to staffing costs?
I think we run a very tight ship. Like a lot of public sector entities, the challenge for us is how we transparently prove that to our communities, and this is a challenge, across the board. Just to give you an example, if you look at our solid waste management costs, they are probably the best costs per ratepayer and per rate-paying unit in the country. But if you analyse, like why those costs are, the most efficient, what you find, is that we do not provide, for example, recycling in the same way that other councils provide recycling. And so, if you look at the results from a pure cost basis or pure numbers of people employed basis, you can sometimes get a really misleading understanding of performance. And that's one of the challenges, I think, for all of us is how we demonstrate to our communities that we're providing value for money. And frankly, we haven't cracked that yet, and that's as a sector. There are a number of entities that are trying to apply measures, and in those measures, this organisation, fronts up well. But we want to actually do more to prove to our community in a transparent way the value we provide for our community, and we're still working on that. But I'm confident that every dollar we spend is a dollar that's creating value for ratepayers.
What are the areas then that you think could be improved?
Our capital expenditure, the delivery of our capital expenditure budget. A better understanding of some of the financial numbers and how we can relate and learn from others, not only in the public sector and local government, but also the private sector. What is the use of technology going forward? If you think about, for example, a company I think is outstanding, and that is Air New Zealand. If you think about their use of technology, for a moment, these days, we book our own tickets, we print our own boarding passes, we check our own baggage, we load it on the carousel, we take it off the carousel, etc., etc. And we do all that, and we are kind of happier as customers for doing it. And so if you look at it from their perspective, they've created better customer service, lowered their costs, and that's pretty, it's a pretty effective way of operating. My challenge to our people is what is our equivalent in the technology sense for our customers? And so we can lower, and how can we, if you like, the challenge, how can we lower our costs and increase our customer satisfaction through the use of technology? It's those kind of challenges that our people are fronting up to, and it's those kind of challenges and the ability to overcome those challenges makes the immediate future for our people really exciting. And that's why a lot of people come here, to make a difference and, change in a positive way the environment for our community.
Coming up next, the B2B decision. Welcome back. A preferred option has been chosen for the Bayfair to Bay Park link in Tauranga. I spoke with the NZTA to find out if this multi-million-dollar option is future-proof.
Currently, if you speak to anyone that currently uses the intersection, they'll tell you that congestion there is pretty bad at the moment. Average delays of maybe two to 3 minutes during peak hours in the morning and the evening. But yes, the option that we've selected is about addressing future growth as well. Currently there's around 36,000 vehicles that use this highway, and that's expected to grow up to around 58,000 by 2031. So the option that we've selected is about addressing those future growth and expected movements along here.
Does this link up with the TEL, or is it actually a part of the TEL?
This is a standalone project, so construction won't be expected to start until after the TEL is completed. It is aligned with the objectives of the TEL, which is providing an efficient freight route and traffic through to the Port of Tauranga. So in that respect, it's providing the same objective, but it is a different project. Yeah.
What does the solution provide for this area? What are the benefits?
Primarily, it's about addressing the congestion and travel time for road users coming through here, and also journey reliability. So people coming through at peak hours, or whether or not a train's coming, that shouldn't affect their journey time as much as it currently does. There'll also be benefits for walking and cycling. We'll be providing some additional facilities. So that, those are the main benefits, as well as currently the roundabout at Bayfair has quite a poor crash history, and so we'll also be addressing those problems as well.
There's been a lot of talk lately about people using the left lane in Girvan Road to turn right onto Mount Maunganui Road, which is illegal. Did that kind of speed up the process of choosing which option to go ahead with?
We are aware of the current congestion driving certain undesirable behaviours at the moment, and our operational team are currently looking at ways of improving the operation of the intersection in the short term. But like I say, this project is more about the long-term improvements to the intersection, getting traffic along the state highway through to the Port of Tauranga. So while we will be looking to improve movements on Girvan Road, it is state highway traffic through to the Port of Tauranga that's the primary function.
So the state highway traffic will be going over that intersection on a flyover?
That's right, there'll be a flyover taking traffic over the intersection, and the roundabout will be replaced with traffic signals.
You can see the new road layout at nzta.gov.nz/B2B. Now for our region's weather for Friday. Hamilton, your Friday will start off early with rain, then showers and a strong, cold southwesterly, unfortunately. Your expected high is 14 and an overnight low of 1. The rest of the Waikato, rain easing to showers in the morning with winds turning into a strong, cooler southwesterly. Paeroa 14 and an overnight low of 1. Matamata 13 and 0. Te Awamutu 14 and -1. And Tokoroa, you've got expected high of 11 and an overnight low of -2. Tauranga early rain, then fine spells and the odd shower. Cold southwesterlies as well, 15 and 2. The rest of the Bay plenty, a period of morning rain, then fine spells and a few showers. Winds turning to a strong, colder southwesterly. Te Puke, I think you've got the temperatures of the bunch. You've got an expected high of 13 and an overnight low of a nice warm 3. That is Central News for today. Like us on our Facebook page, Central News TV, or email us at news@tvcentral.co.nz if you'd like to get in contact with us. Join me again tomorrow night when we compare modern methods of earthquake strengthening to those of the 70s and the Romance Writers Conference. Until then, I'm Hilary Entwistle. I hope you have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.